What's going on, people of Volt Clan? I'm Volt Voice, and the biblical gameplay you guys get right in front of your face is brought to you by the one and only Volt RaiiNz. This is a triple nuclear on the map Hijack. He's playing some multi-team hardpoint and is using the AN94 with the UK Punk camo on it. Volt RaiiNz has some pretty amazing gameplays on his channel, so the link will be in the description for you guys to check him out. And he's German, so keep that in mind. German is cool. It's a good thing. I took German in high school. I'm going to say Guten Tag, that was about it. But anyways, let's transition into my topic, and it has something to do with school. And that is, school is a good thing. Me, I didn't learn that right away. I never had that the appreciation or the really even the dedication to get through school. Now, I'm a high school dropout. I dropped out of high school, and I have no problem saying that, just for the fact that I've come to terms with that's something that I did. I have no problem saying that I'm a high school dropout, because I'm not someone who dropped out of high school who's like, oh yeah, screw this, I'm just gonna go sell drugs or something, like somebody like that. Like, that's just like something that you do not want to do at all. Me, even though you don't want to be doing what I did either, I had the intention of, ever since I dropped out, I had the intention on going back to get my GED. If you guys don't know what a GED is, it's basically the equivalent of a high school diploma. In high school, I was that kid who missed, like, a ton of days. Like, every year I would miss, like, 30-something days of school, like, something ridiculous like that. And then when I was at school, I kind of just, like, half-assed my way through the classes. I didn't put as much effort into anything. I kind of knew, like, the bare minimum of what you had to do. So, like, I knew that, like, the teacher was expecting you to do this many problems, or, like, she was expecting you to do, like, this many of them right, or, like, as long as you even put the bare minimum of effort, you could just guess, and she'd be like, oh, yeah, at least you did it. But now, I am in the process of getting my GED, as I'm taking a prep class, because I needed a ton of brushing up. And these past 2 months that I've been going to this class, I've realized that school is not a bad thing, neither is learning or going to a class. It's not a bad thing at all, it's actually a good thing, and I actually enjoy it. I mean, when I was going to school, like I said, it was pretty much like a chore for me, just to get out of bed, just to be like, I gotta go to school, or I just hate everybody, it's just a miserable experience. But now, it's just, I don't know if it's because I'm more mature, or I just know it's important to get to the job that I want. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, I could even say I enjoy going to the class. One of the biggest reasons why I enjoy going to these classes and why I hated going to school was the students and the teachers. It was pretty much the people you deal with on a daily basis was like, that was awful. I mean, everyone's experience in high school is different. Some people have different schools, some people go to schools in different areas, and better areas, worse areas, and some people have different types of teachers, and they have better schools. The school I went to, and my experience was, the teachers and the kids were they just pretty much ruined the experience for everyone. The teachers at my school were a huge problem, because pretty much every teacher that I've ever experienced, especially in high school, most through middle school, they just half-assed their way through their jobs. They didn't put any effort in, and when they did, it was just like, who cares, they'll do their work. It was kind of just handed a worksheet, here's some standardized tests, here's that, and I'll sit here on my computer the entire time and just type away, and if you guys have a question, I'll just figure it out yourself. Like, it's just, you can't expect the students to try their hardest if the teacher they have, who's supposed to be setting the example and being like sort of like a role model, just puts the bare minimum of effort into their work. I mean, you can't expect the students to try. And I think one of the reasons why I enjoy this GED class so much is because the teacher I have is amazing. You can just tell he really enjoys what he does. He enjoys helping people. He enjoys teaching people. He's like me. He's one of those guys who they like to know as much as they possibly can. They just like learning about all different types of things, because it's just, you just like knowing more than most people. So he's a good teacher, you know he wants to be there, and he just likes helping people. And that's the same reason why the student base, or the people in my class, are a lot better. And like, when you're in high school, this is pretty much most high schools that I know of. I mean, I've never heard anybody say, like, their high school isn't divided between, like, different cliques. Because At my high school, there was so many different, like, personalities and types of people. There was all these different cliques, like the popular kids hung out. Then there was the jocks, and at my school, the jocks and the popular kids were pretty much the same thing. There was the rich kids, there was the nerdy kids, there was the poor kids, there was the loners, because at my school, it was pretty much like we had either like extremely ghetto people, or we had like middle class, and then we had like these kids that lived on like the shore, and their parents had beach houses, and they all pretty much played lacrosse, and they were all spoiled brats. And it was just like, they were the top of the kids, they were the popular kids, everybody wanted to be them. And it's like, you can't expect, like, students to be able to mesh together when there's just that many different, like, I understand, like, you gotta learn how to work with different people and have a good atmosphere, like a productive atmosphere when you have different types of people, but it's like, when you just have snobby kids all in one room together, who they make fun of each other, they get in fights, they argue, all this different stuff that teenagers do. It's not a good environment. And there's none of that at the GED class. It's just all people who are dedicated and they want to get their GED. That's what the GED class is. I mean, the first few weeks, I think it was like the first week or two, probably like the first 2-3 classes, I'd say there was about 20 people in my class that I had. Now, pretty much every time I go to the class, there's the same, like, 7 people. Why? Because some people just can't snap out of their habits of like, oh, I'll show up when I feel like it. But what they don't realize is that this GED class, if you miss more than 3 classes and you don't have rock solid reasons on why you missed those classes, you're out of the program like that. So these people get kicked out, they don't show up, and people just can't snap out of their habits from high school where they just didn't show up or they don't work hard. But despite me enjoying this GED class, I do not want anybody watching this video to be like, oh, he says the GED class is amazing and high school sucks, so let's drop out of high school and get my GED. That is 100% not what I want anybody to take out of this. Because I do not recommend you drop out of high school, because it sets you back a lot in life. I learned that the hard way, but I'm making the best of my situation. But anyways, that's going to pretty much wrap it up. Once again, the gameplay is by RaiiNz. His link will be in the description down below if you guys are interested in checking him out, as I highly recommend you do. And as always, I'm VoltVoice, and I'm Gonzo Alonzo.